Hey guys, welcome to the Gate Check Daily Recap, the first in hopefully a daily series where we cover the latest in aviation and general travel news. If you like our video, feel free to give us a like and a subscribe, and you can also follow us on various social media platforms below, and we also have a tri-weekly newsletter that you can subscribe to, so all links in the description below. Hope you enjoy. And a bit of local news on my side of things. For those who like to plane spot in Trinidad and Tobago, it seems the Airports Authority of Trinidad and Tobago is finally listening, and they are going to develop a section in the airport allowing people to actually plane spot. It's actually located where Pizza Boys used to be, upstairs on the second floor of the airport, and they are going to turn it into a spotting area, but it's more like a view of the ramp, obviously. And you can see operations on the east side of the apron. But what about the second area? It seems that a private developer is going to turn the old waving gallery at the south airport, well, the south apron, whatever you want to call it, into a spotting lounge. And this will actually allow people to take photos and videos of, arriving and departing aircraft, and they'll have a full access view of the ramp on the north side. Now, the way I see it is that this is more going to benefit photographers who have, like professional equipment, or if you have a camera with good zoom lenses, because the airport is pretty far on the opposite side. And if you want to get a good takeoff or landing, well, it's pretty self-explanatory. However, nonetheless, it's going to be a safe and secure area because you don't have to worry about the police pulling you aside. And you can easily spot, sit down, have a meal, have a drink or two, whatever the case is. And I don't know what the details are in terms of membership or if you have to pay to enter, but it sounds like a much more viable option than what we previously have. Now, in terms of timelines, it is understood that the spotting area on the north side of the airport is going to open sometime in late 2023 and early 2024. However, the south ramp, I don't really have a date yet because they are still finalizing some paperwork and stuff like that. So if I have any information, I'll let you guys know. You can just check the website. If you're a Delta Airlines regular, the airline has added 3 new routes coming up at the end of this year into next year. And 2 of those routes are completely new to the network, and those include Tahiti in the French Polynesian Islands and Cape Town in South Africa. They'll also be adding another route for Tel Aviv. We'll give you some more information on that. From December 17, 2022, Delta will actually start flying from LA to Tahiti. They'll be using the Boeing 767-300ER, and they should expect to fly 3 times per week, leaving sometime during the day. According to the schedule, it's going to be leaving LA at 11:10 a.m. local time and arriving about 8 hours later at 6:10 p.m. In Tahiti local time as well. And the return flight is going to leave at 8:10 and head back to LA, just reaching before sunrise around 6:40 a.m. According to the schedule, they'll be flying on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And Delta's entry into the market will actually be the 5th operating out of the United States, following by Air Tahiti Nui, Air France, French Bee, and United. It's unclear if these Boeing 767s will be equipped with the new premium economy seats, but we'll just have to wait and see. As for the airline's second route, they'll be flying from Atlanta to Cape Town. This will actually be the second South African city, followed by Johannesburg. And this route will be operated by an A350, and flight time should be somewhere around 14 hours and maybe 15 to 25 minutes. They expect that once they depart, flight time should leave around 8:50 p.m., arriving the next day in Cape Town at 6:15 p.m. Return flight will be leaving at 10:50 p.m., arriving the next morning in Atlanta at 8 a.m. And the route will actually be operated by one of the A350-900s, and of course, that's going to be full-fledged service. Proper, Delta One suites in business class, premium economy, Delta Plus, whatever the case is. Unfortunately, we're not sure if this is going to be a situation where some of those aircraft may be operated by ex-LATAM A350s. So the configuration could be funny, but somehow I feel like Delta will definitely put their flagship A350s on that route. And Delta will actually add a third flight, this time out of Atlanta to Tel Aviv in Israel. The other two flights originate out of Boston and New York. This route will also be served by an A350-900 and will also fly 3 times a week on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. And flight times out of Atlanta expect to be departing at 2 p.m., arriving in Tel Aviv at 9:15 a.m. the next day. And the return is going to actually push back at 11:30 a.m. in Tel Aviv, arriving in Atlanta at 5:55 p.m. the same day. And of course, this isn't their first into Tel Aviv, so obviously good sign of things. Much more opportunities for travelers there, much more connections, whatever the case is. So yeah. Unfortunately, unlike the Cape Town and Tahiti route, which begins on December 17th, 2022, this route actually would not come into existence until May 10th, 2023. So if you have to plan, you have some time ahead of you. From what I understand, the flight will actually originate in Tel Aviv first. So the first flight is actually going to be on May 8th. I assume maybe due to equipment swaps, maybe from the Boston or New York flight. But from what I see, it's May 8th, and then flight continues as is.
I'm going to interrupt my normally scheduled briefing here for some exciting news. Today is a really special day for me. I would like to introduce to you your first officer, a brand new member of the Southwest team of pilots, and my daughter, Keely Pettit. Keely, come on out here. So, thank you all for being here. This is a very exciting day for us and for Southwest Airlines. A very special day. We are the first mother-daughter duo ever on the flight deck of Southwest Airlines. So thank you for being here.
So we've heard a lot of stories about fathers and sons, fathers and daughters, brothers and sisters and stuff sharing their flight decks on, the same flight, whatever the case is, across different airlines. And well, Southwest now, they have their own story. It's a mother and daughter duo, Holly and Keely Pettit. Just a bit of a backstory. Holly Pettit, she actually started off life as a flight attendant, and she said that once she got to jump seat in the cockpit, she was just in love with the idea of aviation and flying and stuff like that. And she decided, I'm going to become a pilot. And of course, she went on to get her certifications, and even after having 3 children with the support of her husband and her mom, she was able to get her pilot's license and eventually ended up with Southwest as a captain. And her daughter, one of the 3 children, they actually got to do a discovery flight when they were younger. And Keely decided to say, I'm going to become a pilot as well. I really like this. I just want to be like my mom. And in 2017, she got the support from her family and started flight school, and she became a pilot. And in 2019, she joined Horizon Air, where she would fly for 3 years before coming right back to Southwest, joining as a first officer. And on July 23rd, 2022, she was able to fly alongside her mom from Denver to St. Louis, where they actually are based from. And for you Flight Radar 24 fans, the popular airplane tracking website actually set a personal record after tracking Nancy Pelosi's flight from Kuala Lumpur to Taipei in Taiwan. Obviously, the controversial flight got quite a bit of attention, and at one point, the website tracked at least 708,000 people monitoring the flight at any one moment. And according to Flight Radar, they said that they had logged about 2.92 million people looking at that single flight. Of course, there's a lot of controversy surrounding this whole flight because of the tension between the Republic of China, which is Taiwan, and the mainland China, which is the People's Republic of China, obviously disputing whether Taiwan is actually belonging to China or not. Obviously, that's for you to determine. That's not for us to figure out. But it's just quite interesting to see how much traffic this would have generated. And the aircraft in question was a modified Boeing 737-700 BBJ, and it's called Boeing C-40 Clipper. Registration is 09-0540. For those interested, it actually is an Air Force aircraft. The U.S. House Speaker was actually on an Asian tour visiting a number of countries, including Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea, and Japan, just discussing world issues like the pandemic, economic development, and climate change. However, it came up last minute that she would be visiting Taiwan, and even after being advised by the White House not to visit, she still proceeded, drawing quite a bit of attention and even angering the neighbors in mainland China. From what I understand, her trip was very short-lived as she departed Taiwan less than 24 hours later.